Well, it's time to go for a little voyage in the S10. First trip, see how she does. Worst part's getting in this thing. Kind of a pain in the ass now, this roll bar in the way. Alright, made it down. I'll start her up here. it back. Didn't break down. Just have to check things out, like I said. See if there's anything weird going on anywhere. Seems like it could drive a little better. The brakes act a little weird. Just normal first time stuff. Here he comes, the Monza man. Come work on his Monza. And his awesome Toyota. Now I'm back after going for a drive in the S10, kind of checking stuff out, and I had to change a few things on it that weren't working like they should. Before, this was like right here. This had a short piece of hose and it's kind of puking oil out. You can see it more on the front side, but I ran a long hose back up kind of like it was before, but I stuck it more in the middle instead over here on the frame. So if it did puke oil, it wouldn't try to get down around the tire area. Other than that, everything back here is working pretty good, but up front here, I had an oil leak. And oil dripping off the starter bolts. It's kind of getting blown over this way. Made me think it was the rear main seal, but when it was on the end stand, there was absolutely nothing leaking on it. So I cleaned it all out up in here. Let it run for a while, and oil was still running off the, come out between the transmission here, just run down the starter. I got looking around, cleaned a bunch of it up, and it was coming off the back of the, looks like it's coming out of the cylinder head. I've never heard of oil coming out of a cylinder head before down the bottom there. That down a little bit, man, get a better look at what was leaking back up in here. A little light down in here on the subject. The oil is running down the block back here, and it's going down, laying on the starters. So if you look up in there, I don't know if you can see it, maybe I'll try to zoom in on it. Probably ain't gonna get no light on it with the crap. Not much room up in here. Right there you can see that rivet. That's the corner of the MLS head gasket, and oil was running out of there to drip, drip, drip. I've never ever seen oil come out of a cylinder head like that. So, the only thing I thought that was causing that was your outer bolt holes on the small block there where the oil kind of pools up before it goes down through the drain back. I took the nuts off and put some high temp silicone around and put them back on and torqued them back down. It's been sitting overnight. And I thought, well heck, I'll Google it and see if anybody else has had the same problem. Well, there's all kinds of people that have the same problem. They say it's from the MLS head gaskets. And they're sitting on the deck. They don't quite go clear to the top where it meets the intake, and if you don't put a dab of silicone on it there before you torque the heads down, you'll have a little tiny void there. I can show you on this block here. Another 400 small block it picked up, junkyard. What they're talking about is the gasket, excuse me, going all the way to the top here, and it's always just a hair down, and it makes a little void there. Because if you put silicone across the top and if you don't sit there and smash it down in there, it'll have a void there. I'm hoping that's where it's leaking. Hoping. You know, here's my quick fix for that. I just smeared a little bit of silicone in all four corners last night. Hoping that'll stop it. And I tried to create a vacuum inside the engine so that maybe it sucks some of that silicone up in the void by sticking the shop vac over the valve cover. And it created a pretty good vacuum there. I don't know if it did anything, but it's been sitting all night. I'm going to start it up here and see if what it did fixed it. And hopefully it did, because I plan on going racing later today. Also, I had to mess around with the toe on the front because it was driving a little weird. And after I measured the toe, just with a tape measure, it was towed out the front. Both wheels were out an inch at the front, so I set it to where it's got an 1/8 of an inch in. Or not an 1/8 of an inch, but 1/16 inch toe on the front. Hopefully it drives a little better, but now I need to start it up and check for oil leaks. I'll probably have to go for a drive again to get it, you know, nice and warm and working. We're going down the road, and I need to come back and change the oil in it if it's not leaking, so I can get ready to go racing. See if this thing runs. Another issue I had too is I went for a drive is the carb just didn't act right. You just barely step on the accelerator pedal and it was wanting to die. And even the little short trip I took, it wasn't right. So I came back and inspected the carb. That was just a carburetor I bought off Craigslist a few years back. I never opened it up and looked at it. I just stuck it on. It seemed to be working. Took the top off, there was no dirt in it, but I got looking at the jet sizes and somebody was playing with the jets in it. It's supposed to have 113 101s in it. Well, they took the rear ones, put them in the front, and put 104s in the back. Which, dropping from 113 to 101 is a drastic change, and it's too much. And they even had the wrong metering rods in it. So I dug through bunch of parts I had the correct metering rods, which were 6847s. I remember what I had in it, but they weren't right. I had some 113 front jets. I didn't have any 101s, so I left the 104s in the back, excuse me. And we're gonna try it and see what it does. Yeah, I got back and put it up on the hoist and see if it's leaking oil. I don't think it's leaking. It looks dry. Because before I went for dry, there'd be oil just leaking everywhere. To me, it looks dry, so hopefully I got that fixed. Yeah. I'm going to change the oil in it, then go for another drive. See what happens. Well, just got back from a drive, and there's no oil leakage, so that's good. Must have been coming out of the back of the cylinder head there where that gasket's short. Got a little bit of residual oil on the filler, need to wipe it off, but that's good.